Hey everyone, I wanted to talk about strokes. For some reason I've had two patients in the last couple of weeks coming in with episodes of strokes where they were seen in the emergency room. The problem that I see is that when you have a stroke, it usually means that a passageway is blocked off. Usually it's the blood vessels here, the carotid arteries. Two big arteries come off of the heart, they feed the brain, they branch off up here, and if one of them gets stenosed off or blocked up, then you don't get blood flow to that side of the brain. And usually what happens, is if you have blockage on this side, then the opposite side goes numb, dead, paralyzed, weak, or a couple other different things. Could be the face too, but that's essentially what happens with a stroke. Today we have really good stroke protocols in the emergency room, so if you come up with any of the symptoms and you present to the emergency room, then usually they'll go through an algorithm, give you clot-busting medicines, and usually it'll open up the flow before you have any ischemia. That's dead tissue. Brain tissue doesn't like to have episodes where it doesn't get brain flow. It's very delicate. So the thinking is that if you get past 3 minutes of no brain flow, then usually tissue dies. Within 24 hours to a week, you'll see it on X-ray, CT scan, MRI. Sometimes if you get to do a fancy test through the emergency room, you get to see it as it evolves, and if the radiologist can pick it up, they can get to give you the medicines that'll save your life. The problem, again, I see is that people will have those episodes of stroke, get the life-saving medicine, but then they're told just follow up with your doctor and everything should be fine, but it's not. Because the problem that occurred, that gave you the stroke in the first place, isn't just that it's cleared up, like this place, Devil's Doorway in Wisconsin, Baraboo, Wisconsin. If I was to put a boulder in here, I'd block up the hole. If you block up the hole, airflow doesn't flow, you might upset the erosion to the Devil's Doorway formation, and it might wear away fast. So what we do is we try to unblock the hole. Now, if you just take the boulder away, that's one thing. If you keep on having the same boulder come up and put itself in the hole, you're going to be chasing that for a long time. Same thing with the clot. If we bust it up or dissolve it, that's cool, but usually there's a narrowing on the one side that makes it tighter than usual, and you're bound to have another clot that gets in the way again and occludes it or blocks it. So that's the problem I see, is that sometimes patients will say, oh, well, I cleared it, I had the life-saving medicine, and now I'm okay. But again, you're not okay. Usually, in the rare case, you have a little clot that comes from the heart and it blocks off, and you will not have that again if you fix the heart or you fix the reason for the clot to develop. But in the majority of cases, when you have a narrowing, you have to fix the narrowing. And if you have a narrowing up here, it's not just that it's up here, it's usually all over. That's what cholesterol usually does. The theory is that if you have cholesterol that's high, it'll clog the arteries, just like Devil's Doorway. It'll clog the arteries, not just in the biggest, but also the smallest blood vessels. That could be the kidneys, the eyes, the brain, the heart. And if you have blockage in one area, the likelihood is you have blockage in all the areas. So if you just fix the one clot that came to the tightest area here, likelihood is, again, it's about 80% that you'll probably have narrowing to the other side, narrowing to the heart, a little bit of compromise to the blood flow of the kidneys and the retina of the eyes. So it's not just you're off the hook after you get out of the emergency room because some doctor followed a protocol. You really have to have a lifestyle change. And even if you exercise, even if you've lost weight in the past, even if your cholesterol is controlled with medicines, you got to this point because of some imbalance in life that carried you through and caused the damage for 40 to 50 years. So it takes a lifestyle and a lot of planning to reverse the damage from 40 years. Really, it's not just getting a clot-busting medicine and or a rotor-rooter like they used to do before. They do surgical rotor-rooter and try to drill out the clot. It's not just that you're off the hook. You really have to make those lifestyle changes, and you have to get into a doctor's office. There are some patients that don't like surgical procedures, don't like medicines, and I understand that. I have I have training in Western medicine, but I also have training in Eastern medicine and alternative complementary medicine. So I would love to just do complementary medicine, but the thing with Western medicine that's so beautiful is that if you're in a bad way where you're about to have a disease process or a major trauma, Western medicine will save you. If you're developing an imbalance, Eastern medicine, alternative and complementary medicine will put you on the right path without any medicines or surgery. The problem is if you present in your 50s and 60s and you're going to try to reverse it with complementary, that's going to take some time. And if you already have the disease that's presenting, heart attack, stroke, cancer, you might want to do this one fast, get controlled, and then once you're maintained and the specialists say, see Sigil every year and otherwise come and see me when you need me, that's when you can switch over to complementary alternative medicine and make the lifestyle changes, and I think you can reverse a lot of disease. But I wouldn't, especially if you're presenting with a big disease process that hits you suddenly, even if we reverse it, I wouldn't just rely on the complementary alternative. I think it's nice to have a foot in both worlds, but you have to use the wisdom of Western medicine and the wisdom of Eastern medicine to kind of get into a balanced lifestyle. And again, whether you're a marathoner, Alberto Salazar, he competed in the Olympics, he set the Boston and the New York Marathon pace, but he had quadruple bypass at one point in time when he was in retirement and he was still training. So that's a world record. That's a human that goes faster than any other humans on the planet, and he still had quadruple bypass. So you're not off the hook just because you lose weight, just because you're cruising at a good level of body mass index, your cholesterol level is low, you're meditating, you have no stress supposedly in your life. I think there's always a way to improve a life, and the only way to do that is to get a second set of eyes, whether it's a traditional Chinese medicine doctor or a yoga therapist kind of looking with the signs of ancient medicine to see if you're balanced, or you use the Western medicine statistics to see what's off, what can we improve upon. I would use both, but I wouldn't ignore one in favor of the other. So hopefully this gives you an idea. It's always a matter of getting a second opinion. So even if you're feeling great, even if you made it through the emergency room, even if things are stable and you're going to try to heal up, don't let go of Western medicine, embrace it. But again, you're going to have to find somebody. If you're going to be your coach, you'll have to find somebody in alternative complementary medicine that acknowledges Western medicine, and hopefully they can work together. And you'll have to find somebody in Western medicine that acknowledges and embraces alternative and complementary medicine too. Hard to find that, but that's why I love the fellowship I did with the Arizona Center for Integrative Medicine. I think there's more of us that are coming out into the community, doctors that are board certified in 2 specialties. I think it just gives you more empowerment to survive and live a great life.